Hi everyone, Kimberly Lynn Williams here. As a health coach, I'm often asked, what is the right food for me to eat and what diet should I be on or what exercise should I be doing and should I do yoga or should I swim? How much water should I have and how much sleep should I have every night? And there's not one answer for every individual. We're all very unique and we're all very different and we all have different backgrounds. Although we're all connected in some way, we're also very, very different. So we have to find just the right thing that works for us. But there are some basic guidelines and some basic universal rules, like some universal laws that do apply to each one of us. And if you understand that, it will really help in your health and wellness and feeling really good and radiantly healthy in your life. So to understand how to be healthy, we have to understand who we are as individuals, who we are as human beings, or what we are as human beings. And I sort of designed this kind of my theory and this design that I created. And we're all these star models. This is sort of like a star model that I came up with. And we all have this physical body that we are. So our skin and our bones and our hair and our nails and our organs and our circulatory system and our muscles and veins and ligaments and tendons and our brain. This is all the body, the physical component that you can actually see, that you can actually feel, that is functioning and working. And then we have our mind. So our mind is like the processor, right? Our mind is our intelligence. Our mind is our memories. Our mind is the thinking part of us. It's not something that we can see. Our brain is the organ, but our mind is that piece that does the processing work in our system. So our mind can be like our memories. And our intelligence, what we can remember, it could be a memory of senses from a particular day. We could hear a song on the radio and that song takes us right back to the moment of when that song had impact of us in our life. It could take us back to a high school dance, for example, and we can remember it and we have pictures of it and we can be there and we can smell the senses and we can experience that. So our spirit is who we are, right? This is us. A lot of people call it the essence of who we are. It's our soul, it's our spirit. People are born without any arms and legs, but they still have their soul. People have multiple organs removed out of their physical body, but their spirit is still there. We have children who have autism where there's a disconnect between the mind and the physical body, the brain, and there's that disconnect there. But if you're a parent of an autistic child, you will tell them that their spirit is so alive, that their soul is still thriving and that it's really there. A lot of times it's thriving so much because their mind doesn't get in the way. And then we have our emotions. So our emotions are the expression, usually, of our thoughts. So our mind thinks different thoughts. It processes these sensations through our body and these emotions, and they come out as these emotions, and they could be anywhere from love to fear, happiness to sadness, joy to sorrow, and everything in between. And I'll go into emotions down the road in another video. And then we have energy. So we all are energy. Everything in the world, everything in the universe is energy. We know that from quantum physics, that everything is basically made from energy. So we could feel the energy of somebody looking at us. We could be sitting in a room and you can sense and feel when somebody's looking at you. Or you could be standing someplace and you can actually feel the energy source or the energy field of another person coming into your energy field behind you. You don't have to actually physically see them, but you feel their energy coming in. Or if anybody has ever done the experiment where you rub your palms together really fast and then you hold them about an inch from each other and you can feel that energy in between your two hands there. Or if anybody has ever had energy work done, body work and energy work done. So energy is very powerful in our life. There's also a Nobel Prize winner by the name of Otto Warburg who discovered that every cell in our body actually has an energy. It has a voltage to it. And when that voltage is fully charged, we're at vibrant health. But as the voltage starts to deplete, then chronic illness starts, and then cancer and other debilitating diseases happen as that voltage decreases. So if we understand all of this, and then our being, who we are, we live in this sea of communication. So I put this sea of communication around that. We're communicating with everything. I'm communicating with these pens. I'm communicating with these chairs. I communicate with the room that I'm in, the way that I decorate it, or the way, or if I were to leave it dirty or clean. There's communication happening all the time. We communicate with people. We communicate in various ways, verbally, non-verbally, with body language, with rolling of the eyes and doing different things. There's lots of forms of communication. So that's basically who we are as individuals, as human beings in this world. So then, if you were to unhook that star from below here in the center and open it up, you have these 5 peaks, and then we have what I call the threshold of health. So we have everything above the threshold of health and everything below the threshold of health. It's kind of like a line in the sand. I consider that threshold of health sort of the line in the sand, and when we're doing the things that are above that line, we're in health and wellness and we're feeling really good. And when we're making choices to do things below that line, too much of that stuff, and we start feeling ill health. And disease starts happening, and chronic illness and aches and pains. So we have that threshold of health, all of the things that we do above, vibrant health, the choices that we make, too many of these toxins lead us to ailments, pain, chronic illness, and eventually death. So I talk often about how environmental poisons and deficiencies are the cause of, I believe, nearly 100% of aches, pains, chronic illness, diseases that we have, and just generally not feeling well. So these poisons that are in our body are affecting our body, causing cellular death. That causes organs to start to deteriorate and so on. So if we can detox some of this stuff down here and start living up in this area, that's when we have true health. But as I said before, it's more than just eating well. It's more than just getting proper sleep. It's more than just exercising. We have to look at all of these components. So I drew the line. This is my threshold of health, and I'll go into just a few of these things I'll touch on. Obviously, with the physical body, we have good food, exercise, getting proper sleep, getting proper water, good hygiene, good dental care. And then when you start falling into these other things, too much chemical exposure from our environment, maybe overindulgence of alcohol, not getting enough sleep, not having proper nutrition, not drinking enough water. Obviously, we don't feel well when we're doing these things. These are the poisons and the toxins that we're exposed to. Our mind is, if we're able to go among the world and live in the world with information, so be a good researcher, learn something new every day, learn something about the world every day, learn something that you're interested in every day. So continually learning all the time. Being able to function from a place of logic and being a critical thinker and being able to analyze things. So our mind can very frequently go into this primitive place of reactivity, this fight or flight or freeze sort of place, right? We go into this reactive place, something happens and we react, but it's all our mind doing this. Our mind, we are making the choice to react, where we have so much potential to be able to have mind control of ourselves, of our own mind, to be able to stay in these places, to try to figure things out. We exercise our mind, we practice mindfulness. All of these things are rebuilding our mind. All of these things where we're going into the reactive mind, where our mind goes into blame, where we decide we're not going to learn new things any longer, or we're not going to practice the things that we know any longer, where our mind goes into judgment, where our mind goes into criticism. Those are all toxic mind working right there. So our spirit is really our will. I put things like virtues and morals and personal responsibility and forgiveness, because some of those things can go under a lot of, I guess, different categories, but I chose to put it under the spirit. But our spirit is who we are. So, we come into this world, look at pictures of yourselves. Think we're happy babies, and we come into this world and, we want to live, and our spirit is there, and We're excited about this world that we live in, and then all these things happen that sort of stifle us, that repress us, that push us down, and we stop losing our will, and we're not happy any longer. And it's really these different layers that have happened that is holding our spirit back, that's holding us back, that's preventing us from living in the world, And so then we have emotions. And so many of you have heard this before. There are really only two emotions. There's love and there's fear. And everything that falls under love are things like joy and contentment and excitement and feeling enthusiastic and feeling compassion, and love is love. And then everything in fear is fear and anger and anxiety and disgust and envy and sadness. Now, yes, there are things that happen that can take us into some of these places. I can get bored, but I get out of it really quickly. I find something to do, a way to exercise my mind or my body, or go do something for someone, or go give to somebody, or do something. Can we all feel a little bit jealous? We can have moments of that, but it's when things take over our body, when any of these emotions take over or happen too frequently or last too long, that's the flag, that's the red flag that's giving us a warning sign. Now, some things that can happen with emotions, I'll just touch on this very briefly. Some people are way down here. If you were raised in my generation or the generation before, I won't write that one, a couple of generations before mine, baby boomers and before that, children are to be seen and not heard. So very much children are taught not to speak up, not to have emotions, to suppress your emotions. You don't have a voice, hold it all in. So frequently people can go from that state, which is way down here. Sometimes they have to go through anger and getting things out and, feeling all of these emotions before they can get back up to these emotions. So sometimes people have to step through this to get up to this place of love and happiness and joy again. But what can very frequently happen is that these become habits. So I have a client who their child suffered from the day that this little boy was born. He suffered from food allergies. He suffered from some really uncomfortable physical ailments that he had. And so from day one, he was crying all the time. And it took 5 years for the parents and the doctors to figure out what was going on with his child. So his only way of communication was through crying. And so that never shifted for him. He never learned that that's what he learned how to communicate. So as he got older, as an adult, his way of communication was sadness and crying and being in pain, even though he wasn't in pain any longer. There was nothing to fear any longer. He had everything that he needed. His health was better. There's no reason to cry, but he had developed this habit of going to tears very frequently. So in his adulthood, he had a difficult time staying up here and staying in this place. So we have to be very mindful. Are we moving through this, or are we stuck in some of these? Or are they happening too fast? So again, these are the toxins, and this is where we want to live for health and wellness. Energy, I'm not going to go into too much. It's basically our energy feeling high and positive, our cells being fully charged, or our cells being depleted. A lot of these things deplete our cells. And then communication. So we're constantly communicating. Imagine if you walk into a hotel and you're checking in and the receptionist that's standing there is angry and pissed off, and you walk in and you're feeling really good and you're feeling really happy, and you've just had the best day of your life and your favorite lunch you've just had and your favorite smoothie, let's say, and you walk in and this person is just mad and her boyfriend broke up with her and she's sad and angry and feeling all of these emotions at the same time. And you walk in and you're impacted by that, right? So she's communicating in a negative way through her eye rolling and her body language and her negative words and critical words or her facial expressions or her tone of voice, and that impacts us. So we want to find a way where we can be happy and joyful and truly loving life and appreciating life and being truly grateful, so that we can live in a place of positive communication, because we don't want to be the ones bringing other people down. We want to be able to live in this place, and that our communication with other people is also positive, so we can help bring people up. We can bring ourselves up, we can bring other people up, and we're not impacting them and causing them to be down here. So have you ever walked into, I have certainly walked into a room before, and you can tell, you can feel the negative energy, you could cut it with a knife, you could tell something just went down, and the communication, and you walk in and you feel it, and it just weighs so heavily on you. So that's all of this stuff, you know, that's weighing down on you and pulling down on you like an anchor. So our job in this world, one of our purpose really is to find ways to live above the threshold of health, to live in this place, find ways to detoxify all of this stuff and get back up here. And the people that are the healthiest, the people that are the happiest, and the people who, you know, are loving life the most, and really, I mean, really, truly the healthiest, are all doing this. They're all living up here, and they're finding ways to do it. So that's your job, and that's our job in this lifetime. We're here on this planet, in these bodies, on this earth, in this lifetime, for personal growth. This is our person. All these pieces are who we are. So personal growth, we're aiming to be up here. We're all trying to be up here. Personal growth, spiritual growth, and then also to be of service to others, to help other people get up here, to help other people find their way to come up here, so that eventually we'll all connect in this world, and we'll all be at this higher place. And you know, I have a dream of waking up one day and we're all kind to each other. We can all be whatever we want to be, do the things we want to do, live wherever we want to live, believe whatever we want to believe, but we respect each other, we take personal responsibility, we are kind to each other, and we're living in this place, and we have a healthy, happy, not only family, but healthy, happy community, healthy, happy state, healthy, happy country, and healthy, happy world. So all of these pieces are what we're working on. I have drawn it in a different way as well. Instead of having communication around the outside, I put body, mind, emotions, energy, and communication, and I put our soul and our spirit right in the center. This is the heart of us, right? This is who we are. We're always trying to be operating from a place of heart, with our knowledge and our intelligence of our head, you know, of our mind, and moving forward without fear, but in kindness and in love in this world. And that's our purpose. We want to uncover all of these layers, all of these toxins that are holding us back, to get to this place of our heart. And you know, I love the movie The Grinch so much, because it reminds me of what I feel that kind of one of the goals of what we're trying to do in this lifetime. If this is us, and this is our little heart in the center, once we start unlayering all of these different layers, once we start detoxing all of that stuff that's at the bottom, our heart starts to grow, right? And grow, like the Grinch, like in the movie. And it doesn't matter what happens. You know, the Grinch came in and he was angry. He had been teased and made fun of when he grew up, and so he became bitter. He became very angry. But no matter what he did to Whoville, he went and he took their Christmas trees and he took all of their presents and he took everything away that could not take, it didn't, the Whos wouldn't allow themselves to fall down in that place. They wouldn't allow it to happen. They came together anyways. They sang songs, and him just watching that helped his heart grow. So that's what each one of us has to do. Every individual has to operate from that place on top. From this place right up here, every single one of us, that's our work, to operate from this place so that we can bring other people up. And eventually we'll live in a world of peace. Eventually we will be able to all live in a world together. So if this is us in the center, our job is to shine brightly. We're our own star, and we're to shine brightly. And we're connected to everyone. We're connected to our ring of family and friends. We're connected to our community. We're connected to plants and animals. We're connected to the sea and the ocean and the mountains. We're connected to our community, supporting our community. We're connected to our country. We're connected to our entire earth. We really are all here together. We're connected to our universe. We're connected to Source, to God, to the universe, to whatever you want to call that higher power, that higher being. So again, focus on yourself, doing these things, detoxing these lower levels and bringing yourself up, rebuilding at the higher levels is actually going to make you healthy and well. And if you don't believe me, just try it.